Buzzo. Hello, welcome. This is part 11 of our Faith Incantation run through the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC. Last time, we went through the Castle Watering Hole down to Recluse's River upstream, down to the downstream, Dark Light Catacombs, Forsaken Graveyard, Woodland Trail, Abandoned Church, Abyssal Woods, Matt's Hall, all the way through Midra's Manse. For items, we got the giant golden arc, the dryleaf seal, Rakshasa's great katana and set, the dryleaf set, the Verdian Amber Medallion +3, the Death Knight set, which we are now wearing, a great ghost glowwort, the barbed staff spear, matting hand, the frenzy flame perfume bottle, some upgraded materials, Nanaya's torch, some more upgraded materials, and the remembrance of the Lord of Frenzied Flame. Now, I don't remember making it all the way to here last time, but this is where I spawned, so I'm just gonna assume I didn't miss anything since last time I recorded, and we're just gonna move ahead. And watch out for the pot enemies, because they can and will throw a giant pot at you. Whop. And normally the sparkly ones give something special. It doesn't matter to you, but in one of my non-recorded runs, the one I was doing just before this, I got to the very end of the DLC, and I was missing one singular Skidoo fragment. And I just went on without it, but I was losing my mind trying to figure out where the last one was. It was there. That was the one I didn't pick up on a non-recorded run, because I thought that it was just like a cookbook or something. So, glad that I didn't go through the entire DLC looking for that one thing, because I would not have found it. Oh, hi. I did not see him for some reason. I was just like blind to his presence. But, whew. Anyways, while running past him, we picked up the Divine Bird Feathers, which is an incantation. And here, another set of grace. But instead of going to the boss right there, we're gonna turn back around, because there's something down here. There's actually two things down here that we want to get. But the first one is off to the left here. If we just ride on forwards, here you'll see a thing that you can smack, and that unseals a spirit spring. And as you may have noticed, the character jitters that I had in the last few parts is gone. Right here we got the Muddled Necklace +2. But yeah, sometimes when playing on PC, if you have a controller plugged in, your character will jitter when you walk forwards. And sometimes they don't. And I've never figured it out. But here we have aspects of the crystal bloom, which is that. And there's actually an enemy that has a version of that called Devonia. And they're in this area. By the grace we started at, the one before it, Rauh Ruins East. And the version that they have follows the player, Revered Spirit Ash. And we can use this to get back up to where we broke the seal, to head to the next location. But the one that Devonia has follows the player, and it's pretty decent, but the one that you get doesn't. And that makes it pretty bad, in my opinion. So I feel like if the version that you, the player, got also followed enemies, as long as you locked onto them, I feel like that one single change would make this incantation a decent bit better. Because as of right now, it's only good for enemies that don't move. But if an enemy doesn't move, then a lot of things are good for it. So, it's not really anything special. But we can get those upgrades, and then we can drop down. And we can wait for this guy to shoot before moving forward. So that way we don't get shot. Now, there was something that I wanted to discuss, and it was important enough. Rude. Anyways, it was important enough for me to write it down, but I didn't check my notes, because I have a little note thing. But I didn't check that before starting this part. And I don't remember what it was. Sir, please. I know that it had something to do with Night Rain. Uh-oh. I am very surprised that didn't hit me. There we go. Just one more? Okay. The threat has been... What a coward. What a coward. Oh, camera. That worked. I usually roll back and get hit by that. But this time I rolled forward and didn't get hit. Yeah, I don't like the lightning part. Oh, look at that, they heard me and stopped it. Alright, yeah, so you want to roll forward for that. Gotcha. Jesus. Alright, I get it. I'm just gonna get on my horse and run away. And hopefully this will work better. Camera? I don't know what it is about this boss, but they just, like, hate cameras. I mean, they truly, thoroughly despise cameras. And also, I'm really bad at this boss. In case you couldn't tell. There we go. Jeez Louise. Yeah. Beating them gets you Divine Beast Tornado, another incantation. But those bosses, the ones that... the, like, big beastly bosses that mess with your camera, I struggle so hard against basically all of them. For no real reason. I just kind of do. But we're gonna ignore that and move on. I was looking at their health bar instead of them. We're just gonna quit out. There are some attempts that are just so astronomically bad that you could immediately go, that's gonna fail. And so, like, I might as well just quit out. Just to speed things up. You know, get the next attempt going faster. And as always, for some reason they have a normal enemy health bar at the beginning. Yeah, I think they're a bit too fast for us to charge. Oh! Madam, please. Yeah, they're a bit too fast. for us to charge. So we have to just tap the Giant's Flame, take the... Ma'am, please. This could very possibly just be a skill issue. And it could very possibly be a positioning thing instead of a roll time thing. But I can never seem... Ma'am? But I can never seem to dodge all of the attacks. It's like, if I dodge the first one, no matter what, I'm getting hit by the second. Ma'am, please. Yeah, like that attack? Okay. You know what? We're just gonna quit out again. You might call it cheap, but... for some reason, the last, like, 2 to 3 days have just been very strange. Like, I've died... unironically, I've died more to basic enemies in the past 3 days, of which I haven't recorded. Again, just to basic enemies, than I have this entire run to, I think, everything. Enemies and bosses. And I have no idea why, but just like... it just feels like the game hates me today. And I mean, today's especially. Because I died to a completely basic enemy, like... soldier. It was a Haligtree soldier. Just totally basic enemy. And you might ask yourself, well... okay. But you might ask yourself, well, if your luck has been so bad and the game hates you so much... okay. But you might ask yourself, well, if the game has hated you so much in the past 2 days, then why are you recording? And the answer is, this is the first chance I got. Like, it do be that simple. Just, I haven't gotten a chance. I haven't gotten a single chance to record in the past, I think, week. Can we? Yes. We can use fire grease. And we can use mesmer fire grease. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna run over here. We're gonna grab these. Do you hear that? That is me spamming my poor dodge button. And that is what I was doing. Do you hear that? That is me spamming. Or absolutely spamming the dodge button. And my character just didn't dodge. Not a single dodge. And you might think, oh, well, maybe your controller is broken. But again, this is my new controller. And watch. Definitely not a broken controller. This thing is new. It's new. I know it's new. And I know it's not broken. Because every single time I tap it out of combat, it works. Ma'am. Ma'am. Ma'am, why God be so rude? Like, man, I'm trying to be nice. If I get Scarlet Rotted, I'm just gonna quit the game again. And then I'm gonna summon. Like that, I'm trying to be nice by not summoning. Okay. I don't know what is up with Romina today. Like, I've never struggled half this much on Romina. Even during my initial run, where I had never seen her before, where I had never played the DLC before in my life. Even then I first tried Romina. And she was very easy. Like, my only complaint about her was that she was too easy. And now that I have significantly more experience, I apparently can't beat her. Even with a Great Hammer. Which are typically very strong. Yeah. Somehow I dodged all of those by standing still. Ma'am. Ma'am, please. Ma'am, please, you're being very rude right now. Right. Is this because I killed the spider? I feel like it's because I killed a spider, because I killed a spider earlier today. And I could feel the wrath of God staring down upon me as I killed the spider. And I get that she's not a spider, but still. I feel like I wouldn't have struggled nearly that much if I hadn't killed a spider. Because she is an insect. And like I said, even on my initial run, I didn't struggle nearly that much. And going into the DLC the first time, I obviously had no experience, I had no knowledge, and I hadn't played the game in like a month. Whereas here, even though I haven't recorded in a few days, I beat Romina yesterday. Actually, I beat Romina earlier today. So I've beaten Romina twice in the past, like, 24 to 36 hours. Both times, it was a first try with no spirit summons. Like, no summons, no spirit ashes, nothing. But there, for some reason, I just couldn't do it. For some reason there, I just had to bring in a spirit ash. And I feel like it's because I killed a spider. Because like I said, even though the game has hated me for the past 2-3 days, and it's killed me with pretty basic enemies, it's never been that bad. Like, I never died to Romina. But whatever. Enir Ilim. We can just move past it. Come down here, you coward. You can run all you want. It won't kill me, and it won't save you. You know, in all of my runs, I always have one, like, area or boss that just goes horribly. Like, impressively bad. And this run has been pretty easy up to this point. So I wonder if that's it. I wonder if Romina was the impressively bad part of this run. If it was, then I'm really hoping it's just Romina. And not the rest of this area. Because it might be the rest of this area. because it's usually like 1 to 2 areas. Or a boss in an area. And the area's going perfectly fine so far. But it was just Romina, the boss. And so if it's an area and a boss, and we got the boss, yeah, well, that just leaves the area, doesn't it? So I'm hoping that doesn't mean what I think it may mean. I pressed the dodge button. Let's see. See, it's like, for the most part, when I press dodge, I dodge. Oh, Divine Beastone. But for some reason, sometimes, not always, not even often necessarily, but sometimes the game just goes, alright, time for you to not dodge. And just like with... Rude. But just like with the character jittering, I've noticed that only happens in Souls games. Because I play around, I'd say probably half of the games that I have on PC using a controller. Nice. But the character jitters, the circle and X buttons not working, because that's less common, but also still decently common, is just the interact button not working. Like, I'll walk straight up to an item, press the interact button, and my character just won't do anything. It's especially common on Torrent, I've noticed. But yeah, it only happens on FromSoft games. Anyways, here is Spira, or Spira, however you pronounce it. But yeah, like, the circle not working only with FromSoft games. X not working only with FromSoft games. The character being a little jittery only happens on FromSoft games. Doesn't happen on any other game. Or from any other company, I should say. And I don't know why. And, like I said, at first I thought it was my controllers. To the point where I now have 4 controllers. For one me. Because I was just so convinced that my controllers were dying. Or breaking after, like, 3 weeks. But then I started playing other games and I went, oh, the controller works perfectly fine. It's just FromSoft games, for some reason. I don't know why. And that is one of the few criticisms I have with FromSoft games. And it's typically not too bad. Just noticeable. You'll love to see it. And another Scuttle Tree fragment. And by the way, you should walk in with... I don't know how many of these specifically you should walk in with, but you should have 18 and 9, respectively, by the time you get to Enir Ilim. Assuming you went through all the other areas first. Assuming you went through all the other areas first. You should have 18 and 9. I was gonna say you tried, and then I realized he was doing a different move than the one I thought, and I went, oh boy. Which means I've got to miss the dodge. And if I say, you tried, immediately followed by me getting hit, I'd look like an idiot. And so I decided to avoid that. But all the way down here... If you look out on the side, this is the poison section of Bellerot. But if you open up this door here, you get a weapon. Well, you're not supposed to know it's a weapon until you pick it up. But it's the Euphoria, which for some reason I always think it says Europa. Not enough to level up. I don't know why I always think it says Europa. But it is Euphoria. And we could use it, but I'm not going to because... No. It's definitely... like, the DLC faith weapon. But it's just gotten a bit too late for me to go and spend the time and resources upgrading it. Because what am I gonna use it on? A few birds? Because that's kinda all that's left, really. Just a few birds. But here, that is the final revered spirit ash that you get. By the time you pick up that one, you should have 5 revered spirit ashes with 9 revered spirit ash blessings. And then here's Skadootree Fragment. We're at 3. Uh-oh. Ow. Oh. Pretty sure I dodged there, but okay. But we have 18. Yeah, so this cannot be empowered any further. This we need 3. And we have 0. And there's 1 more, which means going throughout the game we have missed 2. Where we missed 2? I can't tell you. Alright, we're just gonna... These birds have some, like, machine gun attacks. Where they just hit you rapid fire style. And because they're in the air, they're kind of hard to hit. And I don't have a shield on this character to block. Yeah, like that. The attack looks like that. Nope, and nope. Alright, goodbye. As long as you don't chase me, I'll let you live. I may be wearing a Death Knight set, but... death is not my goal. I thought that was gonna hit me. I really thought that was gonna hit me. But anyways... oh, a second Divine Beast Helm. Maybe the game is trying to tell us something. Also, I just realized... I mentioned it before going through, but I like to keep things around an hour per each part. And if we had first tried Romina, like we do every single run... okay. Ancient Somberstone. But if we had first tried Romina the way we pretty much always do... like, I think I've only died to her once before this run. I legitimately think I've only died to her once, ever. Maybe twice. And for context, despite this being my 4th recorded run, this is probably around my, like, 15th run total. So... yeah, pretty good track record against Romina up to this point. But that probably should have been it, but okay. We'll take it. But if I had first tried her the way I normally do, we might have been able to take on Radon. Like, Promised Consort Radon. And if we beat him, like, first or second try, we probably could have beaten the DLC this part. And my last 2 runs... yeah. My last 2 runs, I have first tried him. that should be the final Skidoo tree fragment, by the way. So I think that we had such a hard time on Romina, so that way the universe could keep us on our original goal of having this part for Enir Ilim, the next part just for Promised Consort Radahn, and my thoughts on incantations, and then, like, maybe showing off all the DLC incantations, and then maybe one more shorter part showing off the DLC incantations.
Oh, I thought I'd see you here. It'd been quite some time. It was never kindly Miquella, was it? The Erdtree was leading you all along, so that you might ascend to lordship. Why come to these lands to begin with? I suppose it must be what His Eminence, or perhaps the Erdtree desired all along. The clashing of the favored lords. Such that one would prevail. So be it. If you insist upon facing Miquella the Kind, then I will run you through whoever you might be. Don't tarry now.
Okay. Here we got Ansbach. Pureblood Knight Ansbach will be summoned as a cooperator at the appropriate time. And Talier will be summoned as a cooperator at the appropriate time. And then be summoned to challenge Needle Knight, Leda, and her allies. Now, as I've said before, I'm normally not totally against summoning, but I normally like to limit summoning. But this fight is very encouraging of you summoning.
Don't you dare approach Miquella the Kind. Needle Knight Leda, Dryleaf Dane, and our ally will never allow this.
I'll let the dialogue play itself out.
'Tis just as the woman said it would be. Lord of the Erdtree, Lord of Marika, you two deserve to face the reckoning.
Dryleaf Dane doesn't have any, so we can smack this guy with impunity until someone else gets here.
Miquella, please, redeem our clan.
I am Ansbach, of the Pureblood Knights. I stand with blade aloft, blood of fire, for the dignity of my lord and master, Mohg. Righteous tarnished, it appears that our interests have aligned. A balm upon my soul it is that we do not meet today as enemies. Now, my blade. Watch closely.
Is Leda gonna speak? Because I know that she has dialogue.
I am here to serve Saint Trina evermore.
I'm sorry for speaking to you as a compatriot when we stood before the withered arm.
There it is. Oh! She is very dangerous. Gotta give it to her.
Lady Leda, your suspicions were dead on. In the end, I could not bury the memories of Lord Mohg and our pact of blood.
Kind Miquella, the god shall rise.
I can't fathom your convictions. After knowing kindly Miquella, what remains to pledge to your Lord of Blood?
So I think that our allies have death dialogue as well, but I don't think we're gonna get to hear it. Even if I sit back and do nothing. Because, well, not right now, but they were doing a great job at keeping her at bay. but we can sit back and we can...
Tiolier, I seem to have made a poor judgment about you, or perhaps St. Trina. Kindly, Nicola, make the world a gentler place.
There we go. So, you may have noticed there were just 3 enemies there. You can have up to, I believe, 5. You can have Sir Moore, but we got rid of him by saying stay sad forever. You can have Freya, but we got rid of her by just not giving her the letter. We got Horn Scent, but you can get rid of Horn Scent by either helping Leda kill him in Shadowkeep or summoning him for Mesmer's fight. Either one of those will get rid of him here, but I decided to show him here just because I haven't done that before in a recorded run. But if you can get rid of him as well, which I said how to do just now and at the time, then it's just Leda and Dryleaf Dane. And because you can summon both Ansbach and Talia as long as you've done their quests, and summon a Spirit Ash, with the Spirit Ash in both summons and you can have it be a 4v2 in your favor. So, yeah. But anyways, here's Ansbach.
Righteous tarnished. That was an astounding battle, to be sure. Now I suppose this leaves only one. But in truth, I cannot calm my quivering. Challenging a god is no small matter. I'm afraid I underestimated the lad. Appearing frail in both body and mind, I presumed he'd be like to stumble upon the field of battle. What a fool I was. He serves another master, but Tiolier performed magnificently. Perhaps he too quivers with anticipation, as do we. Oh. Something you want to get off your chest? Well, you needn't worry. It was you, wasn't it? Who defeated Lord Moog. Fear not. I bear no grudge against you. His Eminence was felled in an honorable duel. And such are the risks of seeking lordship. Besides, what right have I to complain? I blame the enchantment more than anything. Righteous tarnished, we will have our victory. I swear upon my blood.
Alright. And now we can run up here, where there's one final site of grace before the boss. Oh, we're not going to be fighting the boss this time. But we are going to head over here to the 7th floor. Because like I said, if you just don't give Freya the letter, then she doesn't show up in the fight. But you can still get her rewards right here. So that just makes the fight easier without losing any rewards. And we have Vertigress stuff. So again, you get that by telling Moore to remain sad forever, and then you go over here and you can get his stuff. But I think we can end it here. We started off at the Rauh Ancient Ruins West. We made our way to the main entrance and to the grand staircase. we fought 2 bosses, struggled a lot harder than we should on the both of them, before heading over to Enir Ilim, Outer Wall to the first rise, Spiral Rise, the Cleansing Chamber Anteroom, where a fight was easier than it probably should have been, before finally making it to the Divine Gate front staircase. For items, we got Divine Bird Feathers, the Mottled Necklace +2, Aspects of the Crucible Bloom, Divine Beast Tornado, Remembrance of the Saint of the Bud, not 1 but 2 random drop Divine Beast Elms, a Spira or Spira, Euphoria, an Ancient Somberstone, the Horned Warrior's Greatsword, Leda's Sword, the Falks and Braided Cord set, Dane's Footwork, Leda's Armor, which is just the chest piece, along with Freya's Greatsword and set. And as I've said before, I will show off the incantations, but I'll be doing that at the end of the run, because the next part is just a single boss, and that's it. So, yeah.